And we're done.
Okay, here we are. Two-man advantage in the basement of their practice studio. Where are we? This is New Hyde Park?
Franklin Square.
Franklin Square, Long Island.
The square.
The square, here they are. So, two-man advantage. Can you guys introduce yourselves? And who are you? And what is two-man advantage all about? For those who don't know you yet.
Right, I'm Drunk Bastard, and I scream.
I'm Snapshot, and I play bass.
I'm Mike, and I scream a lot more.
Captain, I play guitar.
Skate guitar, sing a little bit.
Coach, I play drums. I sing too.
And what two-man advantage is just a bunch of guys that really like to play rock and roll and punk rock and have a good time and drink some beers together.
And we love hockey.
And they love hockey.
We do, we really do. Congratulations to the Kings.
Congratulations, honestly.
Seriously, they know they did a
Seriously,
fucking good
they
job,
did.
right?
They did deserve it. They did deserve it. The best team won for sure.
Good playoff.
That's a team I could have nothing against. You know.
That's what we are. We're a team. We are a band who is a team. We're such a team that before each and every show, we have a locker room.
Which is usually the van because we don't really play any place that has a locker room.
It's wherever there's enough space for us to take our clothes off
It could be a bathroom.
and change into our superhero costumes. Okay, this is what we do.
A lot of embracing.
A lot of hugging, a lot of hugging.
We're very comfortable.
It could be a broom
Yep.
closet. It could be, it's a lot of
It could
like
be
a keg
van.
room.
It could be, right?
Out of
Yeah.
the sidewalk. It could be a
So
toilet
much shit on the
stall,
ground.
soaking
Lots
the
of shit
toilet
on the
stall.
ground.
Yeah, so a bathroom that holds like 4 or 5, and we put 7 or 8 in.
But
That's the locker room.
right, and the locker room, when it's all said and done, is where we all change into our gear.
Transform.
We transform. We transform ourselves
You might even say it's a metamorphosis.
into what we like to call,
More than meets the eye.
and I think people have said this, we didn't put this on us, but we become the mighty two-man advantage.
We're like butterflies.
And this has been going on since...
And we're like butterflies. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Since man
I
learned
want
to
the
start
next question
fire.
already.
I hope you can edit this.
There's not much editing going to be going on here. This has
So
been going
anyway-
on since when? 97? 15
Right.
years. How did you keep this team together?
I
15
ruined
years.
their lives. It was all my fault. What happened was, years ago, a buddy of ours from Vermont, this guy Brent, was an old punk rock hardcore guy that I grew up with, moved to Vermont and decided to go up to college up there and just kind of get away. And he had these Halloween parties, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna have this huge keg party. It can be a lot of drugs, a lot of beer, a lot of good time, and you guys should all come up." So he's like, "Get some bands to play." At the time, Skate was playing in a band called Swim Leon, and Captain and Coach were playing in a band called Judas Iscariot, and Mikey was playing in a band called Pacifier, and Snapshot was in elementary school.
The band or actually elementary school?
Actually, elementary school. Both. And then our old bass player, Timu, who was also on Pacifier, played in a band. So I called all these guys and say, "Hey, listen, let's all go up to Vermont and play this, this party." And I said, "But here's the kick. It's like we're gonna start a band where we're gonna play just a bunch of songs about drinking and hockey, and we're gonna wear hockey costumes because it's a Halloween party." And that was it. So July came around. The party was in October, and I called all these guys and I said, "Listen, we need to get together and write 5 or 6 songs so we can do a quick set because I want to feel somewhat included."
We
'cause
were
I had
all
no
kind of
band.
acquaintances.
Yeah, we all knew each other through the
You're not,
scene.
I'm out of all of it.
He's not even
Yeah,
involved.
I
He has
come
nothing.
along.
I mean, like I said,
He
he's
wasn't
still in high
born
school.
yet.
He was a zygote.
We were already
No,
very
he's
successful with you.
Yeah.
So we got together and we sat down and we wrote a bunch of songs and we talked, and that year came up. It was October. It was ready to play a party, and the party got canceled. So we were going to shelf the whole thing. It was like whatever. So Skate and I were talking, and we said, "You know what? Fuck it. Let's just play one show and see what happens. We'll play for our friends and have a good time." And we did. And Coach wasn't in the band at the time. He was a spectator at the show.
Spectator at that show.
He had a very good time. Captain was not in the band. He had a really good time. And they both came to the first show, and then by the second show, Jeff was like, "Oh, Jeff was captain, whatever." he wanted to be in the band, so he's like, fuck it, we already have a bass player, he's a bass player. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna play guitar, so he played second guitar. And the coach decided that he was gonna weasel his way into the band somehow.
So I just invented a role for
He invented
myself.
a role. He's like, I'll be the coach. I'm like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I'll just coach shit. I'll drive the van, I'll set up the drums,
I'll sing, I'll jump on the stage,
Yeah,
I'll jump
I'll
off.
sing, I'll get the pick going, I just want to be involved. So somehow he got involved, and then eventually over time, we had switched drummers, and he became our full-time drummer for the last, 10 years now? 11 years?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Wow.
So, and that's how the band really started. I mean, it really started on, let's just play a party and have a good time. And
That was back in '97.
that was back in
And when
'97.
did you get the first album come out? Or the first
98.
release of any kind?
It was,
demo?
well, we had the demo right away. I
Yeah,
mean,
the demo,
Relatively close.
the demo you guys already had like the first or second show because that's what sort of encouraged me to try to fight my way into the band. So as an outsider, I remember I was friends with all these guys. Because Judas Iscariot, our band, this is really hard to talk about.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You know,
Oh,
It's like,
change the lighting! Oh my God! The horror!
But our old band had played the Halloween party the year before also with all these other bands. And so we knew what they were doing. We knew they were putting it together. And when the party got canceled, everyone was like, you gotta play, because we know you're doing this, so you have to play. Like I said, Coach and I were there, and it was tremendous. It was an immense amount of fun. I mean, people were going crazy. And the songs were so catchy, you just knew them by the time the second chorus came along. Everyone was just singing along. And I think at the second show, they had their demo tape. And our band had a show up in Vermont, and I remember bringing the demo tape with me. And I listened to it like 10 times. And I think the demo, though, had 2 guitar tracks. So when we came back, I think I just said, you really need a second guitar player to fill out the sound right. And they considered it, and they brought me in for practice, and that's it. We're still practicing. We're still here.
There's a theme within the band with songs that you notice that all the songs, or a majority of the songs, are hockey and beer related. And I guess my question is, will the well ever go dry? You have the new record coming down the pipe.
Boy, you would
And
think.
how do you keep coming up with all these
You would
songs
think,
that
but
are based
that's
around
not the
hockey
case.
and beer?
It's a very good question, but you got to think about it. I mean, every year there's a new season, so every year there's something new to talk about. And the sport changes every year. Rules change, players come, players go, people get suspended,
History is made.
people break records, people retire. There's always, it's moving. It evolves every
You're
season.
inspiring me right now.
I'm totally-
Another record.
But it's totally true. It's like, we thought about that early on. We're like, we're going to run out of ideas. You know what? Yeah, we might run out of every word that we can rhyme the word puck with.
Or
but-
ice.
Or ice, or skate. But you know what? Shit, there's always something new going on in the world of hockey that we can turn it around in some way, make it a punk rock song. It's kind of funny. It's
And
like-
as musicians, it never
It just
goes
never ends.
because
It's
there's
kind of-
always something.
It's kind of a joke. It's kind of like, these songs are like anthems to us on a personal note, but we use hockey references as like metaphors.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
that's the thing is that, hockey or any sport, any type of competition, I mean, it involves, camaraderie and teamwork, but also, conflict and fights and everything like that. Not to make it sound like too deep or anything, but a lot of the songs can definitely be, interpreted not just about hockey. I mean, hockey is the platform.
And you know why it's
But,
hockey? It's the
deeper
only
going
thing.
on.
It's the only thing that I knew
That's it.
that I had in common with these guys besides music. Because I've known them only through music, and I also knew that they also enjoyed hockey. So it was the only common thread. It's like, okay, I know these guys all play music, and the only other thing I really know about them, besides that they're complete assholes, is that they all kind of like hockey.
We all drink too much.
Kind of like.
We knew that, but that just goes with playing in punk
But
rock.
your original question, really,
Yeah.
part of what you said originally was, how is this, why is this still happening after 15 years? I think the easiest, simplest answer, aside from the fact of all the relationships we've developed over the years with each other, why is this still happening after 15 years? Because it's still fun. It's still fun. When we all agree that it's not fun anymore, then it would end. But it's still fun, I mean, and the relationships that you develop when you're in this kind of situation with people for this long of a period of time, a creative relationship like that. You know, you forge some pretty deep ties, and you know, the thing is actually, the band is bigger than us. It's like it's about something more than just hockey and beer. Yeah, that's what the songs are about, you know. But even just this, you know, like, you know, practicing or playing the shows that we play, you know, like.
Well, the band also has created this giant coalition. Like,
Yeah,
if
the
you're a
broad
fan of
family.
Two Man, you're a friend of Two Man. It's really that simple. There's nobody that likes Two Man that you don't befriend, unless you must be a real fucking. You gotta be
have
really,
to be.
you gotta be really bad.
You gotta be a real scumbag.
You gotta be a real scumbag.
And I'm sure they're out there.
Okay, so
I'm
obviously
sure
you
we
guys are
love
big,
them anyway.
big on the hockey. Where do your allegiances lie within hockey? Who do you like?
I'm an Islander fan,
What on the,
die hard.
He hates hockey.
I hate hockey.
he hates
He
hockey.
hates
He
hockey.
likes the
Yeah, which
Islanders.
is great.
I'm an Islander fan.
Islanders.
I would also,
Die Hard Ranger fan. Die Hard Ranger fan. Die
We'll
Hard
kill him
Ranger
one day
fan.
for it.
Die Hard Ranger fan.
That's why the band still
I'll look
exists.
at that.
We have one Ranger fan.
And?
on everyone.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Okay, so what about the other topic that we brought up was your beer, a little songs about hockey and beer. Where the beer allegiances lie within the band. Then. I see as we look around here, we got Yingling, Budweiser, Miller
What's
High
being
Life,
served?
whatever it is.
What's
Whatever.
being served? Yeah.
I'll go Guinness Stout.
I'm a beer snob.
Beer snob.
Newcastle.
Okay.
me too, I like Bellhaven,
That's good.
Whatever's-
Go
whatever's
Scotch
cheap.
Ale.
Bellhaven Scotch Ale.
Going
I
back
like
to
PBR and Guinness. I like the two extremes.
so they're all over the place with the beer.
Beer. Just beer.
Beer.
Okay, going back to the Zamboni driving maniac
Oh,
situation. What was the outcome with that? For people who don't know, it looks like back in 2004 that was out, and that situation happened. You guys got some notice by the Zamboni company since they felt it put their name in a bad light. You guys had the song called Zamboni Driving Maniac. What was the outcome of that? What was the end result?
I think we're not allowed to play it, right? We're not allowed to say the
No,
word.
it's cease.
Cease and desist.
Cease and desist.
We're not allowed to play the song live.
Tell what it stemmed
But
from, though. Explain.
The story is the reason they even found out about it, because how would they find out? How would the Zamboni company
Your songs were
find
being
out?
playing at
Is-
NHL arenas, correct?
Well, not that particular song. That is
Okay.
true, but not that particular song. The reason they found out about it is because when the Wall Street Journal did a profile on this band, and the story, you know, ran in the Wall Street Journal, and it was picked up by the LA Times, and it was rerun by the LA Times. And in the course of that, the Zamboni company, somebody saw the article, and they had actually quoted from that particular song lyrics. Fueled by hockey, fueled by beer, run you down if you get near, you know, Zamboni driving maniac. So it was the opinion of the Zamboni company that we violated their trademark. In particular, we promoted the use of their product in an unsafe manner, which was the wording of the letter. So they sent us a cease and desist, and they actually, at the time, I think we were on Go-Kart, we were on the record label Go-Kart Records at the time. You know, it was more than advice. They insisted that we cease and desist.
Okay. So that was the end of it. You didn't have anything past that. So do
No.
you ever play
I
that
spoke
song?
to them.
Yeah,
That's-
play it every night.
We've never,
All the time.
we've
No,
never
but
Sometimes
stopped.
twice.
We didn't even slow down.
We thought it was a very amusing letter. Because
Actually-
if they had any real idea, then, you
We
know,
play it twice now.
out of spite.
And the Go-Kart Records site, the hits were like,
Yeah, we had
actually
I mean,
good.
yeah, it was great.
You know, I
it was the
mean,
best exposure for the band at the time.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing better than being sued because LA Time pick up the article saying that Zamboni was looking
Yeah.
to sue us for this.
Right.
And
Which
I
is,
think
I mean, it's absurd.
we spoke. I spoke to one of their attorneys there, and it was just kind of interesting because I understood. Zamboni is a trademark. It's a family name. Frank Zamboni is the inventor of the Zamboni machine. It's not a Zamboni. It's an ice resurfacing machine. Zamboni's a trade name. It's like saying Ajax,
Clean
Kleenex, or
Rollerblades,
anything like that.
Right.
So
Band-Aid.
they felt that we were using the brand name
Right.
out of
In a very
context
derogatory,
in a very
sure.
right, in
But
a
I think
very
they also
unsafe
had,
manner.
Yeah.
they also had a very misguided idea that
Yeah.
perhaps
But-
we were selling millions
Exactly.
of records and making
And then-
money off of it,
That's
which
it.
is an absurdity.
Right. So at the same
Well,
time,
we
they
are.
see us on the cover of the Wall Street Journal.
Millions of
They
dollars.
think that
Millions.
we're profiting off of their trademark.
Right.
So we had a very good discussion about it, and my final words for her were, you know what, if you want to sue us, please pursue it, because you will find out that we have absolutely nothing. And the best thing you can do is sue us for our own good, because we were a corporation at the time. Two Man Advantage had incorporated, we were a business that was
LLC.
losing money, like ridiculous amount of money. The best thing that could happen for her was for us to sue us, because we
Just to
would have got
bring
more
exposure.
publicity.
Yeah, just exposure.
And it would have been exposure. And that would have been it. And you know what would happen? She would have gotten nothing. And we would have dissolved the corporation, and we'd still be here doing the interview, playing the song everywhere.
They
I
would
think
have lost though. They would have lost
They would
because
have lost.
because even if it was a trademark name, they
Parody,
recognize when
or
it's something is an obvious parody or something.
Yeah.
And it was clear that
But wait, after,
Well, I mean,
after,
after,
didn't
there-
someone,
some
yeah,
guy-
someone was actually arrested for
actually,
driving
yeah.
a Zamboni drunk. Like,
Yeah.
after
if they went to like a
news,
Wendy's
so it-
drive-thru
Did they blame it on you?
or something.
No,
It would have gone right
that
out
would
the
have been the
window.
best.
That would have been good.
And then there was the Wayne Gretzky commercial where he was
Yeah,
driving the
that's
Zamboni through the Wendy's, spoke about drinking, driving responsible, and he was using a Zamboni instead of a car.
Now, could you
And we
assume
feel like
Wayne
we're
Gretzky
responsible for that.
Could you assume
We
Wayne
tried.
Gretzky?
No, I try to get
No,
royalties
try.
for that.
It got very confusing. I wound up suing myself. I don't know how that happened.
Okay, you guys have a member of the band who has an interesting role in that he plays no instruments. Can you tell us about the rookie and what he does and how his role within the band developed?
We're still trying to figure out what he does.
And so people don't know, can you tell
He's
them what he
the
does?
instigator.
He's not even here.
On the new
Yeah.
album,
He's not here, so-
he's crowd based. I like
Crowd based.
Yeah,
Yeah,
crowd-
on the new record, he's described as crowd
He's,
based.
he's a punching bag. They love him.
What does he do?
He
Nothing.
instigates.
He
He
comes
dances
up, he
around.
dicks around.
He
on the
provides a
drums for
very
minute,
wonderful,
and
positive
Vibe.
Runs around in his underwear.
His presence.
You know what he does? You know what he does? At those shows when there's kids that want to dance and they're like afraid to dance.
He makes.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that kid, like
Yeah,
the
he
edge of
gets
the
them
pit, like that kind of
comfortable.
wants
He gets
to.
them comfortable.
He'll put his arm around the kid and start dancing with them, and then like get them all going.
But
Like
you guys all forget what the rookie's roots really were. The reason why the rookie is
was
in
a-
this
he was a
band,
You impose his will on me.
let me tell you why
He was
he's
a
really in
busboy.
this
That's
band.
what he was.
All right,
Uh,
we were young, we
Younger.
liked to drink,
Ever.
and we were going on the road for 6 weeks.
right.
There was this young kid, his name was John. He worked at the card store where I would buy my Camel Lights from,
Fantasy.
around the corner.
John Helen.
And I would
Don't
walk
put
up
his
to
name.
him,
Oh,
and he was like, "Hey, you're Spag, you play in that band, Two Man Advantage. I saw you play with the Balancing Souls." I'm like, "Yeah, how you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm John." I'm like, "Yeah, great." And I walked out. I came back 2 days later, Camel Lights. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Good. Here's our demo."
There's like 100
And I gave it to him, and I walked out. 2 days later, I came back to him. He's like, "Oh, I really like the demo." I'm like, "Good. What are you doing this summer?" He's like, "Working at the card store." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're driving the Two-Man around for 6 weeks because you're straight edge and we're not."
He was,
And
like,
that's
really
what he
into
did.
the whole
He was
straight
really
edge
into it. Got the fucking X's tattooed.
And he was, what, was he 20 years old?
He was like 18, 19 at the time.
20, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah,
he was like
that's
20.
Me and him are the same age.
He wasn't of age yet.
He wasn't of age. Jeff, he wasn't of age. Anyway, a month
Yeah.
later, we're on the road. 6 weeks. He drove us for 6 weeks.
None
almost
of us
killed
knew him. None of us knew him at all.
You guys didn't know him. I only knew him because I bought cigarette smoke from him a couple times. And yeah, he drove us around.
He almost
and-
killed us.
And his job, he almost killed us. So his job was to drive the van, make sure that we got in the van, make sure we didn't forget anyone, make sure that he put the merch out. He didn't have to watch it because that would just be too much. And make sure the merch got back in the van. That was his job. And you know what? We loved him. We
He did such
just
a great job. We wrote a
Just
song
great job.
about him
Yeah,
called
the rookie's coming.
The Rookie's Coming.
Is that what it's called? Headhunter. Same difference.
The easiest it is.
And then once he got in the van, that was the end of work.
Never drove a van again? Never watched
No.
the goddamn thing?
No.
Does nothing. He's the biggest rock star in the band. He shows up 5 minutes before we play, does his thing, and then he leaves. That's it.
You asked a question about him, he's not even here.
Fuck it. Exactly.
He doesn't do
Well, he
it.
doesn't play an instrument, so.
He's a personality,
What-
is what he is.
Okay. The new album is called Dynasty. You want to talk about that a little bit? Like, you know, when it's going to be out, and there's a vinyl only release. What are some of the songs? Are you excited about it? Do you hate it? You like it?
Um,
Side.
nobody hates it.
I think it's awesome. I listen to it a lot. It's a great fucking album.
Nobody hates it.
It really is. I genuinely like the song. Like, it's really terrible.
Like
It's the
the
first
media
album.
hates
Was the
me,
last?
it's like,
When was the
yeah,
last
it's
album?
alright,
Was it
nobody
4
hates
years
it.
ago?
The last
Oh,
album was South Academy. I don't remember when that came out.
2008.
But it was like that recording process was like the songs were so old and we recorded them, we didn't like that recorded again. And by the time it came out, it was just like good. Like we playing these songs live. Like this new album, I think is so good. Like the songs are brand new, they're fresh. But yeah, we're doing a vinyl release, and then you buy the record, you get a free CD copy of it. And then
And there'll be the
yeah,
digital download,
digital
obviously. You
download.
can, you know, on iTunes or whatever.
It's coming out on Drug Front Records.
And when is that due out?
Well,
About.
Well,
probably
before the summer's over.
delivering all the artwork, you know,
Yeah.
by the end of June. So it's, you know, should probably be out by the end of the summer, and then we're hitting the road in November.
Okay. How many songs are there? What are some of the songs called?
12 songs.
12 songs, also just produced and, as you know, thankfully by Dean Rispler of, you know,
Old friend of ours.
Old
who's
Friend of
done some great
Ours,
records
Candy
over time.
Snatchers, Murphy's Law.
Well, he also did the
something.
second two man album.
He did Don't Label Us, and Jesse Cannon.
Yeah, it was engineered in their studio that they have in Union City, New Jersey, in an old factory. They do a great job. And yeah, I mean, I think this record is the product of a lot of really, really good work. And you know, Two Man kind of has in our like the songs, you know, the type of music that we play has, you know, different sort of elements. You know, we like to play blazing hardcore. We can do that. We also enjoy very much, and it's a big part of what we do, is always having an ear for melody. And sometimes, you know, songs are driven by melody. You know, and that's sometimes it would almost seem like it's sort of antithetical to the blazing hardcore thing, but it's actually not. And for us, it really works well. And this record, I think, is a really good balance of the two. We paid a lot of attention to vocals on the record, probably way more than I think we ever have before.
Anthemic.
There's
Is
a
that a
lot.
word?
It's very anthemic.
Anthemic.
Yeah. I mean, we
Anthems.
Anthems,
We try
yeah.
to write anthems. I think Skate and Captain write a lot of this, most of the songs. All the songs? Yeah, all the songs. But I think they keep in mind that, you know, I think there's just this quality of anthem. You know, there's a chorus line that sticks in people's heads and you just drive it down their throat and pound it down. And I think that's been a lot of the success in this band is that the chorus is always the driving anthem that people can
full of hooks.
It's a hook.
The record's full of hooks, which is good, and I think the performances are, you know, I'm
Better than
super satisfied. Better than performances are more than adequate.
It's got to be something that we would want to listen to. I mean, it sounds like such an obvious thing, but it's got to be something that people would want to listen to. If that means that a song is really like dirt simple, that's fine. Or if it's a little more complicated, that's fine. But it's, you know, it's all about the song. It has to be, you sacrifice everything to make a good song. So, you know, however a song might come in, you know, people have their say and they tinker with it, and you know, we put our egos aside for the purpose of just making the best
Mostly,
we can make
yeah.
and having,
Mostly.
yeah, mostly, and, you know, having.
No, I think we do it very,
Yeah,
very
it
good.
has to be something that, each song has to be something, there has to be something about it that we feel people are going to want to listen to this. Like,
I think
Well, if every
we're all pretty
album's like
excited.
that.
about it.
And you got this show coming up, this free show coming up, and you have an interesting concept for the album artwork or cover art.
Yeah,
Can you
we're
tell us about that?
doing a free show at the Railroad in Valley Stream, and I don't want to talk about what.
No, don't talk about the
is.
concept, but
We're gonna
it's,
talk about the concept, but yeah, well, you know,
it's an open invite.
I
for-
think as a young kid, I always wanted my face on a record. So I figured, you know, we should take
Or
a
the
photo.
back of your head.
Or the
So
back
what are
of
you
my
guys
head.
gonna just like have
Whatever.
photographers walking around taking pictures, or it's gonna be like a
No,
big
it's
group
I think
picture at the show?
The thing is, you
Well,
know,
you don't know.
there's
You've
an
seen the cover
opening
of
band,
Sgt.
and then
Pepper,
we're gonna
right?
play, and then there's gonna be a lot of beer drunk. So we'll see how it goes. You know, hopefully we can organize a big photo shoot.
I think
thing.
it's gonna be a bunch of live photos, and then at the end of the show, I think
Don't talk about the concept.
we're gonna do what we
because-
need to do to make sure we have the right shots for the cover.
Do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
We should
We've got
come
one
down.
night, we've gotta figure it out, we're gonna make it happen.
Then we gotta be up early to.
And then next morning, we gotta get early, because we gotta go to Governor's Island to play, Puke Island, or whatever it's called.
Governor's Island Punk Rock Show happens every year, apparently in the
It's
summer.
Puke Island.
We've been asked to play
Yeah,
a few
you're coming
times
back
over the
from
years, we
Miami
never
for
can do
a
it, so we're doing it this
Don't
year.
fuck with my ears.
You guys coming back
I
from
know,
Miami?
I'm sad. Sad, crying.
Crying.
Okay, next question is
Sorry.
about kind of like over the years, interesting venues. I saw you personally at a female roller derby. I think you guys played some boardwalks. Can you give me insight on like other places that you guys
Oh, yeah,
have played that are
the-
like not your average bar?
We played a
club?
farm.
Okay, tell us about
So,
that.
They shut down they brought in the state police
Yeah,
and shut down a highway.
we played some really weird
That's a true
shows,
story.
but we played, I mean, down the list, Elko, Nevada
There
is
you
a
go.
place that we played because we discovered it randomly while on tour because we really needed a place to fill a gap between
Kill Your Idols.
Idaho or something. We were on tour with Kill Your Idols, and the second time we returned to Elko, the first time we played Elko, it's a place where punk rock had never even punk rock hadn't even made it there yet. I'm telling the fucking story.
Yeah.
No, you're not listening because you're talking. I'm telling that we played there first. You're not listening.
Sorry, Dad.
He thinks he remembers. So we did play there once. We played there once. And it's a place where punk rock had not even really gotten to yet, even as far as the late 90s.
They haven't distributed the first Ramones record there yet.
Like people hadn't even, it was like it was a thing, right? So the second time we returned, which was a couple years later, they were so excited that we were coming back that they set up a show in a barn on the property of a farm, where literally there were pigs and chickens and ducks
And a goat named
running
fucking
around, and
Satan.
goat named Satan,
Yeah.
which was cool. And they actually brought in the sheriff of the town was the door guy taking money. And there were mothers and grandmothers and
Mothers selling off their
farmers
children to us.
and children and
The owner of the place cooked for us.
yeah,
They cooked
the owner of
vegan for
cooked like a
the-
vat of veggie chili and like it was an extremely
It was a
unique,
community
bizarre.
event.
It was a community event in an extremely rural, small area. And I mean that for me stands out as probably one of the strangest
Strangest
shows.
But then-
What about overall? Oh, go
But
ahead.
after the fact, though, after that show, like that show was cool. One of the kids, one of his parents owned a trailer
Trailer.
park, so they
Yeah.
let us stay in
An empty trailer.
trailer.
Yeah.
And I think it was me and you stayed up, maybe the rookie. Everyone went to sleep.
I went to sleep in a closet.
being
by
like
that time.
tired, like whatever. We drove all day. We were fucking tired, and it's like a knock on the door, and it was a bunch of kids from the show, and they brought beer. And I remember kind of being like
Yeah, it was like
cranky.
4 in the morning.
I did being like cranky, like I don't feel like we gotta wake up in the morning, and we were sitting there, and these kids were like pouring their hearts out to us, like me and him, and maybe the rookie, but I know it was definitely you.
Well, the one kid got out of jail.
The one kid got out of jail because
He was
like
desperate to
going
get bailed out of jail
medical
to get
place.
to the show.
And the kid said, the first time Two Man played this town, which was before I was in the band, he's like, that's the show people lie about being. And I remember being at the show and seeing like Loiter's patches and Kill Your Idols patches and all these Long Island bands. And it was like they bought like I guess the 2-man 7-inch and heard about the Loiterers that way.
It was like a
Sent
show that
some-
started
Kill Your
as
Idols went through there
middle of
like,
nowhere.
through us. And it just like it's just like this was this weird little scene, and this one kid even said he was like, I used to be angry and I didn't know why, and then now I realize like I'm a punk. Like they literally, like there was literally no punk scene. There was no band. It was like cover bands playing at
I
bars.
remember.
and these kids
Do you remember
dancing.
why the kid got out of jail? Was in jail to begin with?
He stole something. It's
He
like
broke into a
skeleton.
medical supply store and stole an anatomical skeleton.
Well, who wouldn't?
And he busted the place up and wound up in jail. And we were asking, like, so why'd you do it? He's like, I don't know. I was bored.
It's Elko, Nevada.
It's Elko, Nevada. It's like a town in the middle of the mountains, you know. Payette, Idaho was another great
We've
great
played a
place.
lot of squats that were pretty interesting over the years. A lot
Squats,
of really
yeah.
bad clubs, some outdoor events, and
I mean, we'll play
I
anywhere.
mean, basically we'll play wherever they let us play.
We'll
I mean,
play
that's-
wherever they will let us
You
play.
know, we're pretty open.
So those like oddball places, but like how about like if you can pick a couple like best shows or worst shows, any like melees or any like insane stuff like UFO abductions
Well, there was
or
a good,
anything?
there was a time we played in Long Island where a bunch of Nazi skins showed up and our coach decided to run them over with the van back at in Suffolk, up by where you live.
Who was in the van? It was my Plymouth.
It was your Plymouth. It was
My
your Plymouth.
Plymouth.
But
Well, don't.
for the most part, we never really had any melees or just craziness. I mean,
Well, people like we try to put on a very fun,
Houston.
good-natured.
We had some
No,
really
there was
some
a good
Nazis
show-
in
there was a good-
Houston.
What was it in Pennsylvania?
Remember when there was pictures of there was a gunfight. There was a gun.
cleaning?
Oh,
There was a shooting.
Holy shit! It's
Oh,
really,
What, man?
it's really coming out.
in
In Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
Houston.
Emos
There was
and-
like a shot
yeah,
shooting
emos.
like
Nazi-
before Nazi
yeah.
came out. But
Well,
Yeah,
we've had plenty of people get injured at our shows and go to hospitals,
Oh, that
but
kid
it's not because of anything bad natured. Usually, it's
the kid that
because
broke his neck at Holidays in the Sun. that was-
yeah. I mean, we've had plenty of people get hurt, but it's always because they're drunk and they're having a good time and they're dancing and they fall and hurt themselves, or you know, I mean, it's really rare that there's a bad vibe at a show and like people, you know, get violent for the sake of being violent. I think you could count on one hand the number of times in 15 years
didn't
of
we have some
shows.
girls smash a bottle over some girl's head?
Yeah,
the
but
other
that had
night?
nothing to do with it.
That had
One
nothing to do
time,
with us,
there's
that
one
had to
time
do
that sticks out in my head. We played somewhere in Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania, and it was maybe it was a youth center. There was a lot of young kids. There was one older guy there, and I remember he was dancing like an asshole. He was being a dick to all these kids. And he's like, these kids don't know punk. And I remember he shoved the guy.
Oh, it was Pittsburgh.
It
Yeah,
was Pittsburgh.
It was Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy liked our
Yeah,
band a
he
lot,
was
but he
drunk.
was, he was being a dick.
Yeah.
And then you like shoved him.
Oh, wait, we had a Beery's, Mr. Beery's.
Oh, I
Yeah,
crossed
we're
the
not to play
bottle
Mr.
over
Beers.
somebody's
Smash the
head.
bottle over
I
someone's
smashed
head.
the bottle over
That
somebody's
guy
head.
But, you know, that's all minor shit.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, like a Crown of Thorns show where someone gets stabbed or something. It's all minor shit.
No, nobody's ever
We're
gotten
fucking
like.
punk band, you know, we're a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, like we try to keep a good vibe at the shows. Like people that are there are generally there to have a good time, and like our shows don't get the dancing. You know, it's dancing. It's you know, it's a pit, but it's not like it never gets really super out of control. We sometimes like he likes to jump on the bar and he likes to like.
I'm
We
usually
like the
very
feeling of
much-
chaos,
Yeah.
but we don't want people getting like you know slashed or you know. It's like, you know, that shit doesn't.
No, I,
really happen.
I stopped taking the razor blades and putting them in like Doc Martens,
That-
melting
yeah.
them in.
That was
I
done
stopped
by-
that about
by
like
the
what,
time
2
you
weeks
were-
ago. I stopped doing that.
Alright, so obviously you figured out we're a bunch of tough guys.
Yeah, clearly.
We've had people who wanted to fight us who thought we were tough.
Yeah.
Remember that band?
Well, yeah.
Mundane. What-
Shadows of the
Shadows of the Mutane. What is it?
Shadows of the Mundane.
Those guys wanted to fight us.
I think they wanted to fight anyway.
There was
You know
one
those
guy.
guys?
One guy was very angry.
Very angry guy.
They wanted
Very angry.
Black belt. He would have killed me, but you know.
Yeah, they would have killed us. He would have killed all.
He was a dangerous man.
Yeah.
No, I'll skate would have took them all. Whatever.
No, we
You're a
like I
man
said,
with dreadlocks.
we're a band about having a good time. That's always what we're about. Period.
You said it earlier, like until you'll always do it as long as you're having a good time.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the key.
I mean,
Always we have a good time. No one wants to let anyone else down. And we're all in this together. We'll be in it until we all sit down and say, you know what? We're not really having a good time.
Except when Spag and I quit the band.
Listen, don't tell those guys.
I have a feeling it'll be something we'll just be physically unable to continue.
I agree.
My kid will be out
gonna
of college by the
medically-
time we quit.
I think we will, something will happen where someone will become physically unable to continue, and because it's like you'll have to pry it from our cold dead hands at this point.
This is how long the band has been together. I was
When we
bald.
started, he had
This is how long.
He
That's
had, like,
actually on my very first.
crew cut and a
tour,
mustache. That's
He stopped cutting his hair. So I look at his dreads like the rings of a tree. Like I can pick the dreadlock and I can pick out a point. And I remember that shit. That was awesome.
It is pretty amazing because if you look at pictures of 1997 and you look at him, it's unbelievable.
He was a nice clean-cut boy.
Yeah, to come
The
out.
transformation is outrageous.
Young kids that were younger at the time, that are now older, obviously, will be like, "When did you join the band?" I'm like, "I'm in a band all the time." "You sure, man?" I'm like, "I don't remember a guy with dreadlocks being in the band." I'm like, "Well, you know, hair growth."
Yeah, for some of us.
For some.
Well, yours just grows in your back.
Grows everywhere else, yeah. Nice condition. Looks good, right? Condition for you. Make sure it looks good for you.
That's pretty much it, unless you guys got more stuff you want to throw in.
We could just talk shit all night.
Anyone have
No, well,
any,
thank you for coming down,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thank you for your time.
All right, Tune In Advantage, thank you very much for your time, and
Thank
good luck
you.
with the new record.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Salute.
You on, tired?